Hi all, good evening. My name is Saraswathi here. I am from Commerce Department, Assistant Professor in AJK College of Arts and Science. Today we are going to discuss about the principles of management. Then important one is functions of management. Here one of the important function is directing. Directing is the key managerial function. It is the function which comes after staffing. There are 5 functions in management, that is planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. And I am going to discuss more about directing function. First of all, directing in management. The meaning and definition of directing means, according to G.R. Turing, directing means moving to the action by the process of direction, supplying simulative power to a group of persons. Thus, the plan is put into operation through the organization by the process of direction. Another term used to describe this function is activity. Now, we are going to discuss the more about directing. First of all, important definition of direction. That is, according to Dale, direction means it is telling people what to do and seeing that they do it to the best of their ability. It is through directing that managers get the work done through people. It consists of issuing orders and direction by the superior to its subordinates, guiding, advising and helping subordinates in the proper methods of work, motivating them to achieve goals by providing incentives, good working environment, supervising subordinates to ensure compliance with plans. Next, the important part of directing is that features of directing. First of all, first point is initiate action. Initiate action means the other functions of management just gives the platform but direct which initiate action. Directing function is performed by the managers along with planning, staffing, organizing and controlling in order to discharge their duties in the organization. While other function, as I said before, other function prepare a platform for the action but directing which initiate action. The second feature is that pervasive function. Pervasive function means there are 3 levels in management, that is top level, middle level and lower level. The directing function which is important in all levels of the management, that is, it is pervasive in nature. Pervasive function tells it takes place at every level of the organization. Wherever there is a superior subordinate relationship, directing exists as every manager provides guidance and inspiration to its subordinate. Then third feature is that continuous activity. It is a continuous function as it continues throughout the life of organization irrespective of the changes in the managers or employee. That means it's a continuous activity. Then fourth feature is that descending order of hierarchy. Descending order means it starts from top level and to the lower level of the management. So descending order of hierarchy means the directing flow from a top level of the management to the bottom level. Every manager exercises this function on his immediate subordinate. The last function is that human factor. Since all employees are different and they behave differently, all employees' behavior is not same in every situation. So, because directing that performs by a human being, so human factor involved in it. It becomes important for the managers to tackle the situation appropriately. Thus, directing is a significant and important function that gets the work done by the employees and it increases the growth of the organization. Then, next part of the directing is that elements of directing. There are 4 elements in directing, that is communication, supervision, motivation and leadership. Let's come from the first point, that is communication. Communication is one of the basic functions of management. It's the process which a piece of information is transferred from one person to another, or it may be from top to bottom or bottom to top. And another, it is important part of the directing. The person who conveys the information is known as the sender, and the one who receives the information is the receiver. The second element is that supervision. Supervision comes from after communication. Supervision is the next step after information is conveyed by the superior to the subordinates or employees regarding the work that needs to be done. It is the stage where supervisors give correct guiding and directing to the employees how to perform the task. Oversees if the subordinates are the following what has been instructed to them. And the third element is that motivation. Without motivation, directing is not possible. Motivation is one of the key elements of directing. Issuing of order to the subordinates by the superior doesn't guarantee that it will be followed exactly as was asked for. And one of the last element of the directing is the leadership. Leadership is that element of directing that involves motivation and persuasion in order to achieve the desired goal. A leader is defined as a person who is able to influence other people and inspires them to follow the instruction provided. Then another topic in directing is that principles of directing. One of the first principle is that maximum individual contribution. One of the main principle of directing is that management should adopt such directing policy should motivate the employees to contribute their maximum effort, their maximum potential for the attainment of the group goals or for the organization goals. Then second principle is that harmony of objectives. Harmony of the objectives. Sometimes there is a conflict between superior and the subordinate. So in that case, the organization wants profits to increase and retain its major share, whereas the employees may perceive that they should get a major share as bonus as they have worked really hard for it. That there may occur conflict between superior and the subordinate. So unity, next principle is that unity of command. We saw two principles, that is first one is maximum individual contribution and second one is harmony of objectives. Then third one is that unity of command. This principle states that the subordinate should receive instruction only from one superior at a time. That is, he shouldn't receive more commands from more superiors. He should receive command only from one superior at a time. If he receives instruction from more than one superior at the same time, it will create confusion among the employees or the subordinates. So in order to avoid that, a subordinate should receive command only from one superior between the objective of both the parties. Then next one is that appropriate direction technique. That is, appropriate of directing technique principle is that one state appropriate direction technique should be used to supervise, lead and communicate, motivate the employees based on their needs, capabilities, attitudes and other situational variables. Next one is that managerial communication. According to the principle, it should be seen that instruction clearly conveyed to the employees. That means superior should convey the proper order to the subordinates. So it should be ensured that they have understood the same meaning as was intended to be communicated. Next one is that use of informal organization. Within every formal organization, the informal relationship or informal group exists. The manager should identify those groups and use them to communicate the information. There should be a free flow of information among the seniors and the subordinates, which is very important in all organizations and really important for the growth of the organization. Next one is that leadership. Managers should possess a good leadership quality to influence the subordinates and make them work according to their wish. It is one of the important principles of the directive. Next one is that follow through. As per this principle, monitor, that is the managers or superior should monitor the extent which policies, procedure, rules, instructions are strictly followed by the subordinates or not. If there is any problem in the implementation, the manager should consider it. And the next topic is that techniques of directing. It is one of the important topic and it's the last topic of the directing. There are three types of techniques in directing. The first one is that consultative direction. In the word from we know that consultative directing means here superior will consult about the issue to the subordinate. He won't take a decision alone. So, in consultative direction, the superior or subordinate has consult with the subordinates before issuing a direction. Once again I repeat, that is in consultative direction, the superior has to communicate to the subordinates before issuing a direction. The superior will consult with the subordinate before issuing the order. The consultation is made to find out the feasibility, enforceability and nature of the problem. It doesn't mean that superior is not capable of action independently. To participate the subordinates, the superior will do so. So, it will help the subordinates and superior relationship will go in a friendly manner. So, it will help in that matter we follow consultative direction. Then second one is free rein direction. From the word itself, it is clear that here subordinates can alone take a decision. That is free rein direction. Here the subordinate is encouraged to solve the problem independently. Under this direction technique, the superior assign the task generally. The subordinate should take initiative to solve the problem. Only high educated, efficient and sincere subordinates are required to apply this direction technique, because here subordinates alone taking an instruction and he is doing. So it is only possible when he is highly educated, he is very talented, efficient and sincere. And the third one is autocratic direction. It is just opposite to consultative and free rein direction. Because here under autocratic direction, superior never consult anything to the subordinate. He takes the decision alone. That is autocratic direction. From the word itself, it is clear that this direction is just opposite to the free rein direction. And here the superior command his subordinate and has close supervision. Here the supervisor give clear instruction and precise order to the subordinates accordingly. There is no way to left the subordinates to show their initiative. That's the disadvantage of consultative. These are the techniques of directing. So there are three techniques: consultative direction, free rein direction and autocratic direction. Autocratic direction, the main disadvantage is that here subordinate can't initiate action. He has to follow that instruction given by the superior. Next, that is the conclusion of directing chapter. We are going to conclude this chapter. That is, direction is a management job that is primarily performed at higher levels of management, and it's a ripple effect to lower levels. It's the function that begins action towards a set objective or goal. It's a continuing process that exists as long as its business exists. Thank you.